Being recorded.
Okay, this meeting is being
I
recorded.
recorded that my life.
All right, Jake Porter, Zach Luther. We're here for, we can probably do maybe just in one, 4.6 and 5.5. I've got them both pulled up.
That's fine.
Okay,
do
so
it.
4.6. This was literacy stuff.
We'll make it too, though. We'll in the recording. Because if it's too long, it won't.
Yeah.
Got it.
All right, so like reading and spelling measure analysis type stuff here. So we went through Dibbles, we went through it was just a whole lot of testing for student like their literacy level, I believe, with their
Yeah.
Lexile.
Their
And
Lexile
then-
scores, yeah.
Yeah, and then I used that in I don't remember if that was this part, but I actually ended up using that information to create a lesson plan based on a like recommended Lexile level for that student. And then I could take 4 or 5 different books with that Lexile level, put them together with a common theme and make like a lesson plan around that. So yeah, so this one was about a kid named Elaine. I went through all her information, tracked her data. She was, I had to like identify where she struggled. So her struggles were long vowel words and words with a silent E.
Nice.
The next assignment I did after this, I had to differentiate to create a lesson plan that helps her work on that.
Yeah. Got it. That's perfect.
Yeah. So let's see what else is here. I mean, it's really all there is. It's just we had to come up with SMART goals.
Yeah.
We had to go over all her information. That's really it for 4.6.
And like testing for understanding would go back to maybe assessment type stuff,
Yeah.
progress monitor.
Is that something like I know in the SPED world you do a little bit of that, but is it more, is that a different individual that's in charge of that?
Like per goal, it wants to say like bi-weekly, you get into that. So every other week.
Yeah.
The issue is like per age group, that goal should change based on how much actually need of that, right? It's like if you focus too much on that, right, are they losing the other skills during the day? So it's like a steady dose of like when they're younger, gosh, it seems like missing those skills could definitely mess them up for the long haul, right? So yeah, you do want to focus on that. But like think about a middle school kid or a high school kid, you're focusing on one thing. Well, then you put them off, get them out of class too much, and they miss all sorts of things, And the motivation when they're really, really frustrated, maybe like on a site where as a junior high or high schooler, that's when frustrations can build as well. So it's a little bit of modeling, it's a little bit of drill and practice, then it's a little bit of assessment again. You like that, you would like those stages. It's just hard when you get to a higher level. Kids get frustrated.
That was something that I had to address actually on that assignment was how you could balance, right? And
Right.
my solution was to separate days for decoding and days for comprehension, right? So like we might do an audiobook or I might read or something. So
Right.
the kid can enjoy reading a little bit rather than always having to do decoding work and missing out on that comprehension side of things.
Yeah. And it depends on like it depends on again the goal and how it suits the kid the best.
Yeah.
Because one kid with these super decoding help might be different. Were you looking for me?
So I looked at the computer.
Yeah.
I was able to get it closed. I saw what you said where
We're being recorded. Okay. We're back for 5.4 and the last mentor meeting, hopefully. So this one, I've actually got it here if you want to look at it. So I had to go through and pretty much grade myself, kind of like we did with that 5.5 sheet.
Self-score, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about some of this when you observed.
No doubt.
The first one, I gave myself some pretty low scores on activities and questioning, and also problem solving because I felt like maybe just because it was the first time that I was just trying to get my feet wet, figure out what worked, what didn't work, and I definitely bit off a little more than I could chew. I felt like with Edgenuity, I was trying to replace that lesson, so I wanted to cover everything they talked about. But I definitely felt more comfortable with the second lesson when I chunked it into something manageable and just tried to teach to the
I definitely
understanding.
agree. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
And I think like the more and more you do these and
Mhm.
let like when an observer's in your room, like you can get docked off pacing,
Yeah.
right? So you want to get it all in there and you want to make sure you get to like the end assessment, right? But then like you miss some stuff in the middle, like those critical thinking moments where like a kid should sit there just a little longer and maybe like fail a little more, keep thinking a little more. But that's tough when you're getting observed. It's the hardest thing to do.
I really like, we had a lot of discussion during my second lesson. I would have got docked for pacing because we didn't finish. I didn't get to do the
Right.
Kahoot and I didn't get to do part of that was because we had the big group that day. So it
Mhm.
shortened the period, but I didn't get to do my exit activity.
Yeah.
But I really like, we talked about the Chicago Five when we were talking about why you have a Fourth Amendment right.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really important.
It is.
You know, it was a
It
good
is.
discussion.
So, and again, it's like, I think I told you this too. It depends on the observer. I've done both. I felt like I had a great critical thinking group assignment. I had to cut it short because things were so good.
Mhm.
I ran out of time. I got docked, right? Another time, I know I ran out of time again, but the lesson was so good and a different observer didn't care,
Yeah.
right? So it's just like, it kind of depends. Like, it's a mix of everything.
Yeah.
You're always going to be good at something in one lesson and like you're missing something.
Mhm.
Right, but that's just part of it. Like,
Yeah.
we always don't have it figured out.
So, questions for you.
Yeah.
How do you like? We had this happen during my lesson, right? I felt like everything was going pretty good, but I had a particular student that I was having to give a lot of attention to, and I felt like I didn't want to give the impression that I was just going to abandon that student
Yeah.
and focus on the lesson, but
Mhm.
also that may have prevented me from finishing the lesson.
Yeah. So my best advice on that is yes, like it's probably good and mindful to prompt that student once to check in,
Mhm.
but like that one original prompt or redirection or like maybe like, hey, can you go take care of this real quick and come back or take a break?
Yeah.
If they're still in that mode,
Mhm.
then it's really praising everyone else around and ignoring that behavior and focusing on the good behaviors in the class. So like, I know what you're talking about. He was like head down, can't do it, getting frustrated. Then that might be a time to walk over to the others. Hey, I'm seeing some really good answers here. That's good effort stuff. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for staying engaged and focused. And if he wants to hear that with his ears or if he doesn't care,
Mhm.
that's up to him.
Well, then that still reflects on you in the assessment at the end, doesn't it?
It does, but as long as you gave the effort to maybe check in one-on-one, small, right? That still didn't get through to him,
Yeah.
right? Then you're actually really hyper focused on the good behaviors in the classroom. Because clearly you try to offer support, he didn't want it.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing that might sting is he sees everyone else being responsible.
Mhm.
And this really tends to do well, like in a 25, 30 kid class, right? Because it's the one odd man out,
Right.
or the one odd person out. So that works more. But like I've always been told to like, if you're seeing a bad behavior there, you got to focus on everything out. You got to focus on the really good behaviors and teach that bad behavior. Like this is what we're doing right now.
Mhm. That is definitely something I would do differently.
Yeah.
Because I was doing my best that, I have that relationship with that student where I felt like I could maybe get him to engage.
Yeah.
But
It's not when you're thinking about pacing and observing, you don't have enough time to keep going over to
Yeah.
that student.
yeah, I needed to focus. I needed to get through I just felt like it was going to end up being a disruption.
Oh, I hear you.
I felt like it was something I needed to address in the moment, and that would obviously, like on film, if there was one kid in the corner getting ignored, that wouldn't look great.
I know, dude. You're absolutely right. But I think if you've given your little piece, you've made an attempt, right? You have an observation, like you got things to do,
Yeah.
right? And if he wants to show super escalating behaviors, well, then you got to hope that the observer takes that into consideration.
Mhm.
Good question, though. I'm glad we talked about that one.
Awesome.
Anything else?
I think that's it. I think we're done.
All right. Thank you.